Hello everyone, this is Mr. 206. I am back with another update video. It's been about 3 months since the last update. I just want to keep you guys up to date with everything that's happened between now and then, and the new stuff coming. So let's start off with the old stuff. So like I said last video, all the new videos on this channel currently have been compilations of my old content. The reason it's compilations of my old content was because I kind of promised myself that when I eventually decided to come back, I should make compilations of my old content. So for any new viewers who would see this channel and decided to, look at some old videos, there would be compilations of the series I did rather than having to go back and see, each individual video of each individual series. It would be like some of the best moments all in one compilation, so they could see the old chapter of the YouTube channel and this new one coming up. Those videos are kind of bangers, some of the better videos I've put on this channel. But just with all things, there are goods and there are bad from those videos. So let me just review some of them. Let's talk about the bad things first. Now, some of the bad things that come with these videos was mainly just the production time. Having to go back, rewatch all those videos, choose the best parts. Takes a lot longer than you think, especially because those compilations, like the series total, could reach around 3 hours or something like that, depending on the series. And I would take those 3 hours and squeeze them down to roughly about 30-ish minutes or something like that. I ended up cutting up most videos down to 25% of the original content. Some series were cut more than others, or videos I didn't enjoy myself. I just didn't end up making compilations for those ones. But yeah, making those compilations for all those videos was kind of a slog. I wasn't really enjoying it too much. But I'm happy they were made because, like I said, new viewers can come back and see my old content without having to watch the individual videos and know what to expect from this channel. Also for myself and my friends, we found them to be really funny and good watches. Definitely my favorite series has to be Valorant. I think one of the Dylans likes Phasmophobia the best. In the Phasmophobia compilation video, I decided to do some captions on the screen. I used some auto caption feature on the Movavi editing program I have, and it didn't really work out, so I ended up kind of going in myself and doing a lot of those captions manually, which significantly increased the production time. That single video probably took me 2 to 3 weeks just to do. Definitely something I'm never gonna do again. But yeah, that's pretty much all the bad stuff from those ones. Everything else went pretty good. So let's talk about the goods. The good is that I didn't have to record anything new. I just kind of went back and edited all the old stuff. And just watching my old content was kind of a nostalgia trip. With those old videos, you probably realized in the closer I was still using the old music. That being also Sprock Brooks from the Catherine OST. You'll see in the new videos that I am now using the new OST, which is the Act on Instinct OST from Catherine. Also, the reason I'm using the OST from Catherine was because when I was younger, I watched a YouTube series doing a playthrough of the game, and I always found the music to be super calm and relaxing, and I just really liked it. And I need a song for my closer. Also, in the last update video, I said I would start including questions of the day. No, those compilations don't have questions of the days. Those were made before I made the update video. And the question of the day comment was just kind of sporadic in the moment. In the new videos, I have started including questions of the days, either just in the closer or right at the end of the video. I physically talk about it myself. Before we talk about those, let's talk about the new schedule. Now, you probably realize this video isn't uploaded on a Tuesday or a Friday, and instead it's posted on a Wednesday. Now, the reason for that is to kind of show this new schedule that I'm going to go on for the videos. The new schedule being Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, there will be guaranteed videos on Mondays and Fridays. Now, on Mondays and Fridays, at least for now, that's mainly going to be solo content, me playing through some games I want to play. Now, on Wednesdays, those videos aren't guaranteed. Those are if I have the time to make those videos. Those videos are going to be lower quality, but they're going to be a little bit more experimental and some more multiplayer gameplay. I'm excited to see how those ones do. I do have some ideas of what I want to do with those ones, but you'll just have to stay tuned to see what those ones are. Like I said, not guaranteed videos, just whenever I have extra time to make, edit, and upload those. Also in the new content, there are going to be some video series. The first 2 video series, one being on Monday and one being on Friday, are going to be a playthrough of Poke MMO, the Gen 1 Kanto, you know, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Those will be on Fridays, I believe, and then on Mondays, those will be my playthrough of SCP Containment Breach Ultimate Edition Reborn. In those videos, there are some new and improved things. Mostly the first one you'll see is those video series do have openers. So like an opener to like a TV show or something, those video series do have them, which I am very proud of. I worked pretty hard on those. They're both kind of bangers. I think the SCP one's like 30-ish seconds, and then the PokeMMO one's roughly around a minute. Also, my editing has been improved, especially in some of the more recent content that I've made. There is a little bit, I would say a little bit less editing in the video, as in like less visual. In my old content, I would just kind of just throw up an image just for a little bit of context of what I was currently talking about at that moment. But some of them would be kind of stupid and redundant. So those moments have kind of been thrown out. And it's more like some short video memes that I made. For instance, in one of my SCP videos, I was getting upset trying to get a specific item, and I ended up probably reloading save a bajillion times just to try and get that item, and I didn't end up getting it anyways. So there's kind of like a cutaway gag, and in the cutaway gag, it's like a kid in front of a class and his teacher sitting right next to him, and it's all like, I've had enough of this. This punishment stuff is going to stop. I am now the alpha. I use that gag a couple times in some of the vids. You know, one of my favorite memes for sure. Yeah, but in the cutaway gag, it has like my Movavi face on top of, you know, the kid, and then it has like one of the SCP's face on the teacher. You know, little gags like those, something I would see on like a meme website and like give a chuckle to. Those are like included in the video. Any visual editing made to the videos are going to be made mostly for comedic effect. And they're going to be of higher quality now, not those shitty PNGs I used to use. Also, you'll see the videos are a bit longer. I think before I was trying to get them between like 10 to 20 minutes. This new content can be between like 20 to 30 minutes. With some special videos going up to like an hour. I know that will kind of turn some people off, but you know, it's my channel and that's what I like, so that's how it's gonna be. Also, YouTube seems to like those longer videos when they're like around 30-ish minutes. I don't know what it'll think about the hour-long videos. Oh yeah, also, these new videos do have custom thumbnails and images. I've kind of become a Gimp guru. Gimp being the program that I use to make images. A free version of Photoshop, pretty much. Yeah, I make some custom images for videos that I need. You've probably seen in the new compilation videos, the thumbnails are pretty nice. My old thumbnails just used to be like the YouTube recommended frame, but now they're custom thumbnails. A lot of those are bangers. Also in the new videos, you'll see there'll be improved descriptions. It'll be laid out in a way where it's like a short little description talking about the video. And then under that, it'll be like a request to like and subscribe. Under that, it will be the music I use in that video specifically. And finally, the last part is like the software that I use, which is OBS for the recording. It's Movavi Video Editor 2025 for the video editing, and then Gimp for picture editing. Also, I'm trying to interact more in the comments. Somebody asked me for an image that I used in one of my videos. Even though I had no idea where that was, just because they asked, I decided to look up the original source and let them know in the comments. I thought that was pretty funny. So if you leave comments, I will do my best to give you the best answer that I can. because you're taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. The least I can do is give you a little bit of mine to interact back with your little comment. Also, please make sure to, like, subscribe, and comment. With my small channel, any single little like, subscribe, or comment, YouTube will think, damn, this video is kind of popping off. I should recommend it to new people. Just by doing that, just by boosting my viewership, I could potentially break out, get a shit ton of subscribers, closer to my goal. My goal being YouTube monetization, which I'm still trying to do by the start of the new year. Because like I talked about in the other video, I do want to try and make YouTube a career if possible. And the only way to do that is by getting monetized. And the only way to get monetized is if you guys like, subscribe, and comment. So please do the three. Please, I'm begging you. At the start of the new year, I will end up moving back to the US. And if I'm not able to make YouTube a career, then I will try and keep uploading, but that's a big if, depending on the time I have when I do end up moving. So if you like me, if you like my contents, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't, say fuck you in the comments or something like that, and just give me some interaction, please. Also, some real life updates. I am currently living in Mexico for health related issues. Those health related issues was my diabetes, which around in September, I believe it was, I was hospitalized and diagnosed with diabetes. Ever since then, I've been having to watch my health and take medication. In November, I ended up making the decision and moving to Mexico, since treatment here is significantly cheaper than in the US. And pretty much right after I moved to Mexico, most of my issues were solved. My diabetes was put into remission, and it's no longer really an issue. I don't really have to take medication, but I still take medication just to make sure it doesn't come back. And I'm watching what I'm eating a lot more, trying not to eat sugars. Although I can eat sugars, eating a piece of cake isn't gonna kill me like it would have killed me when I originally got my diabetes. I can probably eat a whole cake now and be just fine, as long as I don't do it a couple days in a row. Because if I do, then it'll come back, and I'll have to be on insulin again, which fucking sucked, dude. It fucking sucked. Having to do a little blood test, having to prick my finger, see what my blood glucose level is, and then also taking insulin just to make sure it's in the appropriate levels. Which, if you know me, I hate needles, dude. Anything involving needles and veins, dude, I freak the fuck out. It's kind of an irrational fear I have. Not even that irrational. I know a lot of people have the same fear. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, my grandma would take me to like medical appointments and stuff, and they would have to bring in the whole US military just to pin me down and give me the shot or draw some blood, and I would be crying all day, dude. Nowadays, I'm a big boy, kind of just close my eyes and let the doctor do what they need to do, and then afterwards, I talk some shit. Hey, major improvement from having the military having to come pin me down. Also, another update on the Mexico living situation. Since I do plan on moving back to the US, I'm not really socializing as much with people here in Mexico. I'm just kind of keeping to myself in my room, staying productive by making these videos, and just playing some games. I end up editing videos or doing some kind of video related stuff about 6-ish hours a day. Sometimes even more, sometimes like 10 hours. This is pretty much my job right now. I don't really have to worry about money because my family owns a bunch of properties here, and we make quite a bit of rent, enough that I don't have to work and I can focus on YouTube until I end up moving back to the US. And once again, thanks to my friends for keeping me sane and putting up with my shit and antics that I like to mess with them. I like to troll with them. Also, my sleep schedule is kind of fucked. A lot of it being related to making these videos. Editing the videos, I can do those any time of the day, that's fine, but the recording part is the issue. The issue being a bird, you'll probably hear in the background of some of the new videos. I think you can hear him in the old update video that I did. That little bird, his name is Beto. He's a little green parakeet. Pretty chill dude. I can take him out and handle him. He's pretty chill. Now, the issue with this little bird, Beto, is that he makes so much goddamn noise. And I've literally put him like across the fucking house and I feel like he gets pissed off and like screams even louder, just like trying to spite me and like making sure to ruin my recordings. So the workaround to this is to record when he has fallen asleep, which is usually between the time of like 7, 8 p.m. up until around 6 a.m. ish. That's pretty much the only time that I have where he's not screaming his head off. Although he doesn't scream as much as he used to. He used to be in a pretty small little sterile cage. I felt bad for him. They did end up moving him into a bigger cage, and now he seems to have kind of chilled out a little bit more. Also, this bird isn't mine. It's the neighbor's bird. When it comes to animals, I'm pretty sympathetic of their situation. So if I were to have a bird in a cage, I would try and make sure that bird has the biggest cage possible. That way he doesn't feel caged and imprisoned in a tiny little cell with some stimulating things, which they have done recently. They gave him a bigger cage and they put in some little toys, bells and whistles in there, which does seem to have helped him. He makes less noise and he just kind of chills around and plays in there. Pretty cool bird. I like him. Yeah, before he used to scream like crazy, and then if you would try and touch him, he would bite the hell out of you. Sometimes he would bite so hard that he would draw blood. But now, like I said, he's a little bit more chill. If you take him out of the cage, he'll just kind of chill on your hand. I've got these two big bracelets, these two big silver bracelets on my wrist, and he loves to bite down on those. He seems to really like jewelry. Whenever my grandma holds him, he tries to take off her earrings. He's just a little greedy goblin. He's chill though. I like him. But I also hate him because I can't record during the daytime. It has to be between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. or else my mic will pick him up. And you can hear him clearly. I don't know why, even if I put him across the house. And trust me, my house is big. But yeah, that's kind of the update for now. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the new content. You know, so some solo series on Mondays and Fridays, and then some shitty, wacky, experimental, and multiplayer videos on Wednesdays. That's gonna be everything for this update video. I'll see you guys back in like 3-ish months or something when I decide to make another update video. Let's do a question of the day on this one. So for my videos, I have everything recorded up to like 2-ish months early. You know, having videos recorded up to 2 months ahead really gives me the luxury of not being stressed out and constantly making videos. Instead, I can have, sometimes I'm like kind of sporadic. For like a week or two, I won't be doing videos. Maybe I'm like addicted to like watching a show or playing a game. And then once that addiction dies down, I get episodes of being productive. So I end up cranking out a shit ton of videos in a short time frame. So those 2 months allows for me to do that rather than constantly making videos. So keeping that in mind, let's do the question of the day, which is what games do you want to see me play in my solo videos, and also on my wacky Wednesday videos? What experimental content do you guys want to see? Okay, yeah, that's everything. All right, video over. Bye.